talk to us a little bit about how that you've done this and been able to work with hundreds of people as a creativity coach and strategist. Maybe tell us what some of those experiences have been like, some highlights, and then it'd be nice for me because I'm curious at, rubber meets the road. What are kind of some tips that you use and tools and strategies to help people?
Absolutely. There are some commonalities across people who practice different types of art. So, whether I'm talking to a painter or a writer or a musician or whoever, what we really focus on is the common denominator of the relationship that that person has with their creativity. Just like any relationship in your life that's important to you, a relationship has to be tended intentionally. It has to be cultivated and nurtured. When you're in a thriving relationship, you're probably spending some good time in that relationship. You probably have clarity around what you're seeking in that relationship and the value that it brings you. You probably hold that relationship in a high regard in the way you speak about it and think about it, the way you talk about yourself regard to that relationship. And I think a lot of artists unintentionally slip into dysfunctional relationships with their creativity where they're not spending quality time. They're not talking about it with a lot of regard and love. They're not envisioning themselves in a healthy way in the context of their creativity. And then, of course, they're not getting the results they want. They don't feel fulfilled in that relationship. It doesn't bring them joy. It doesn't bring them the accomplishment and achievement that they're looking for. So I always drill down to the base of what relationship do you want to have with your creativity? Like, how do you want to feel when you're in a creative space? How do you want to feel when you're turning an idea into a product or a project? How do you want to feel when you're sharing your art with another person? And all of those things are experiences that we can craft. You can choose how you want to feel as an artist and how you want to feel in relationship to yourself as an artist. And then we can build not just the mindsets and perspectives that support that, but also the really tangible, concrete routines and rhythms and practices that make that a tangible reality in your life and actually support your creativity like on the daily. And so it's been really interesting to see how that philosophy applies every artist I've worked with, and the transformation that they experience is really dependent on like what they're coming in with and where they're feeling stuck. So I worked with one painter recently who is extremely talented. She's a painter and an illustrator, and she was struggling with just deep burnout, like really significant blocks where she would come to her studio, be completely unable to create anything, and walk back out totally deflated and frustrated. And she started to really panic when that burnout started to impact her sales, started to impact her income. And through the process of really getting honest about how she was relating to her creativity, how she was relating to her practice, we were able to sort of unravel some of the things that were holding her back and get her back into this space where she would come to her studio and be overflowing with ideas and feel really excited and have a lot of work that she was putting out into the world, a lot of new collectors coming into her world. The funny thing is, we overcorrected because after a few sessions, she came back and she's like, "Oh my gosh, Lauren, I'm having a terrible problem now. I can't turn it off." She's like, "I'm losing
Uh,
sleep. I have all these ideas. I'm like interrupting date night with my husband because I have these ideas. I have to drop everything and go do them." So then we did more fine tuning, right? Because now we have imbalance in a different direction in that relationship. We need some better boundaries around when that creativity can come to play. So it's fun to see how this unfolds in different ways for different artists in different fields and disciplines. And it's always rewarding to watch them walk out the other side with a more fulfilled experience, more balance, more reward. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to watch.